All right. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Get to ARCA. Let's Get to Know. I'm Casey Campbell. Thank you so much for joining us. Pleased to be joined by Jesse Love of Bill McAnally Racing, as well as Venturini Motorsports. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. Just had a little quick workout this morning and got some other stuff planned through the day. So just doing this interview and seeing what else I got going on.
Okay, so before we get to the fun stuff, talk about what you've been up to and when's your next race?
Yeah, so my next race is going to be COTA next week in the TC America, probably challenge stuff that I ran in Sonoma, doing that at COTA this time. So that's gonna be really cool. I get to do a lot of, cool tracks with TC America that I'm going to be doing later on in my career in the Cup Series or stuff like that. So tracks like Sonoma, obviously COTA this next coming weekend, and then Indy Road Course, Watkins Glen, places like that I get to go to. That's going to be, really good for my development, my career. So huge thanks to Mobile One and Toyota and everybody at Tech Sport for giving me that opportunity to kind of, get ahead of the curve on that. But last weekend we were in the icebreaker at the Dells in Wisconsin. So my first super late race in Wisconsin was, really great. A lot of cars. I didn't realize how many cars were racing in Wisconsin. I had no idea that. Oh, sorry, phone fell there. And I had no idea the caliber of cars either that go to these tracks in Wisconsin. So 46 cars showed up, and 20 made the show, and we unloaded really good in our Mobile One Toyota Camry. We were first in almost every practice session. I think we were third in another one during race runs, and qualified in the top 5, which is pretty good. We got to scuff our tires, maybe went a little bit too much, but that was on me, and we'll learn from that. Started 9th in the feature because the invert, they do a big invert there. And we got it to around fourth or third pretty fast, and ran around there for a while. And we just kind of missed our mark. We fired off too tight, and then we kind of just trended tighter throughout the race. But we're learning a new Hankey race car, and it's a new chassis from what we're used to. It's, a Fury to a Hankey is so different that we're learning the differences and what the car needs to be like in practice for the race. And we had a really good speed. We just, on our part, we just missed our mark. So I ended up running, we fell back away to 9th at one point, made a charge back up to 7th, and we ended up 7th. So not what we wanted, but, really big, field of a lot of fast race cars, probably 20 guys that could have won the race. So, everybody knew that we were there, which is what we wanted to do and what we wanted to win the race, obviously. So we'll go over our notes from this past weekend and get ready for Nashville. That's my next super late race in 3 weeks from now. So we'll get that better for that race. And I feel like Nashville's going to be more our style of racetrack with our Hankey. So we'll see how that turns out.
All right.
Hopefully with the win.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've learned a lot of interesting things about a lot of drivers. I know since you're from the West Coast, I know you're into like surfing and stuff. How'd you get into about that?
Yeah. So, I always was around surfing, the culture of it. Since I was a kid, and growing up near Santa Cruz and Pacifica, Mavericks, places like that, surfing is kind of a pretty big part of our culture. So, there goes Bubba Wallace. We played a game of 50 today, and he was trash talking me, and we almost beat him. So he was just giving me a hard time about that. No, but we were, I kind of grew up around surfing, and then I used to surf on vacations and stuff, but never really got into it. My dad used to be really big into surfing, and I just kind of, didn't really find it, when I was a kid. And then I started surfing with my friends Charlie and Zay and my buddies back home, and just kind of fell in love with the ocean, fell in love with surfing. And I moved to Santa Cruz. I lived in Santa Cruz for almost a year, which was a really fun time in the summer. And I got to experience some of the winter too. So that was cool. That was really what, set me up with surfing the most. And I really fell in love with it. I got to learn from a lot of great locals in Santa Cruz, guys like Ed and all those guys that, teach me, how to make the most of it for the little time that I'm out there. So I get to go out there every now and then and make the most of it and have a good time.
Okay, so I know you. I know you're like. I know you've been busy doing really a lot of stuff. But what does Jesse Love do when he's not at the racetrack?
I'm at the racetrack or out of it. What is
Or
it?
just maybe just completely outside of racing. What do you like to do?
Oh, sorry, my thing was buffering there. When I'm outside of the racetrack, like I love to spend time with my family, my friends. Family. I don't really get to see them a whole lot, so whenever I'm not racing, I try to make some time. But at the same time, especially during race season, racing is pretty much all you really got time for. I try to make time for school, of course, things like that. But no life of a race car driver and how I'm doing it, you get back on Monday and you have to download all your notes and go over everything that you could have done better and go over the weekend. So it's a whole, process of every week doing the same thing every time. And it's, 9 to 5 every single day and you gotta get after it. So when I'm outside of the racetrack, I'm always pretty much just working and making myself, my team, cars, situations the best that it can be. So that's kind of what my job is. And we got a lot of people that, put a lot of money and effort and time into what we're doing. So it's my job to make the most of it.
So I know you're at Toyota right now, and I know you just got done with all your Toyota friends and everybody. We all love Toyota, right? Um, what was it like? What's it like at a Toyota facility workout? Because I've talked to many of you guys and got to see what it's like. But what is it like there?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I have a good time working out here, and ever since I moved out here to North Carolina, I made the most of it. I mean, I'm here at TPC, every day. Like I got here, around 10 around 9, and I kind of be here until 4 o'clock. So it's almost like a 9 to 5 every day, right? So it's just a testament to what TRD does for their drivers and why they're the best at what they do. Not by a little bit, but by a lot. So just super grateful to be a part of Toyota and the many great resources that they give me, whether it be anything from working out, to having similar time every day, to meeting with guys like Von Suss and making myself better. There's so many great opportunities that I'm given as a driver, and that I'm really grateful to everybody, Jack, Trent, Tyler, David Wilson, everybody that just, gives me great opportunities. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And my performance definitely goes up whenever I'm out here. So, I feel like my performance this year, I've already have like 3 wins and 4 poles and all these top threes. That's podiums that are pretty much the only thing that matters. So, got a lot of podiums, probably podiumed over 50% of my races this year. So, it's a testament to what I've been doing the last, 6 months or so, training out here and getting myself better. Pays off a lot. And the camaraderie between all the teammates is always good too. Before I came out here, everybody that kind of knows me knows I'm kind of just by myself, and I don't play the whole teammate thing very nicely sometimes, but I've kind of learned to, be a team player and do the best for the organization and do the best for me, what I can do. And there's a lot of guys that I work out with and that I train with, whether it be Bubba or, guys like Daniel Hemrick and all these other drivers, even Christopher Bell comes through here. So I get to, learn things from them, and they're gracious enough to teach me things. And that just makes me a better race car driver. So everything, that comes into TRD makes everybody better at what they do, and it pays off.
Yeah. Okay. So I know I've mentioned this to you before, I think in previous interviews, but I've always noticed when you're at the track, and I know a lot of drivers do this, and it's actually pretty common, but among some of the ARCA guys, I always notice you have headphones on before a race. That's been a trend that I've kind of started to notice among a lot of the drivers in the series. Why is that? Why do
I think that,
you guys always helped you?
yeah, I think that there's no secret to being fast on race day, and there's no secret to winning races. It's not a formula, right? But I will say that there's things that you can kind of latch onto and that you find helps your performance, and it might be different for driver to driver. I know some guys that like put on headphones and they psych themselves out, and I know that some guys like me, you put on headphones and you kind of get in the zone better. And I find headphones for me, and just listening to music. I'm big on music. I kind of listen to almost every type of music that there is. So you got music that just kind of gets me in the zone better. Certain songs get me in the zone better than others, and like for qualifying, like you listen to "Fade to Black" by Metallica, and that's like 2/10 on the racetrack. So there are certain things that just make me better at what I do, and I enjoy it. Probably a mental thing, a psychological thing, but I don't ask why. I just do whatever makes me better.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do a little bit of rapid fire. So I'm just going to ask you a bunch of questions and you'll just respond when you can. Okay, what would you rather do? Surfing or wakeboarding?
Surfing by a lot.
Okay. What's your go-to place for food?
Chipotle.
Which driver is the most competitive at games in the Toyota facility?
Jesse Love.
Of course, you'd answer yourself. Who's the biggest character among the Toyota drivers?
It's a hard one. I feel like everybody's so different because like you got, me, because I'm just like, I don't know what I am. I'm just everywhere. And then you got, Bubba, who's like funny, and Daniel Hemrick, who's like really funny too. And Bubba's kind of got his swagger. Like some days he'll ride out on a motorcycle, Harley, and it's funny. And then some days Hemrick will walk in and he just makes everybody laugh. And, Drew Dollar is really funny too. So everybody's so different. I mean, I don't really know who's the biggest character. I think that there's not a lot of boring guys in Toyota, right? So I feel like Toyota's done a really good job at making all their drivers diverse. And I think that it pays off because I feel like everybody's pretty unique in their own way.
Yeah.
I don't really know that answer to that question, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's always good to have personality, and that's what I like about Toyota. What's the biggest adjustment you had to make when you moved to North Carolina?
I don't know. I think it's just dedication. Being in California, I'm not held accountable to go to the gym every day and do certain workouts. I'm not, I don't have to go to the sim because there's no sim in California. So I don't go to the sim once a week. I don't have to do all these different things. I would still do them, right? But there's certain things that you do out here in North Carolina because we're given the opportunity by Toyota to maximize our potential by doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that you add a lot of those aspects and elements to your life when you do that. So I think that just, turning that dedication level up a notch is something that I've had to do, that I've been completely fine with doing, that I've liked to do. So, yeah. So, I think that's just kind of the biggest thing is just, stepping that level of dedication up a notch. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. It makes my job easier on race day because I'm more prepared, right? So, not a huge difference, but just level of dedication up a notch,
Yeah. Favorite? Do you watch any like stick and ball sports?
I watch football.
You have a favorite team?
Well, I like Tom Brady, right? So my favorite team of all time was the Patriots. Like when like Julian Edelman and all them guys were there, like in Tom Brady, that was good. I don't know. I like the Chiefs. I like winners, man. So I like Tom Brady a lot. I feel like I like people that perfect their craft and that people that work hard. You know what I mean? So if you ask me what my favorite basketball team is, it's gonna be whoever Kobe, wherever Kobe was, or wherever LeBron James is, right? So people like that, I idolize a lot and I follow them. So, I don't really follow the Miami Dolphins, right? So, but I like Tom Brady. I don't really have a favorite team. But the team that I go for is whoever's on my fantasy draft. So it doesn't matter where they are. If my fantasy quarterback is Tom Brady, then I'm hoping that, even though it wasn't, then I'm hoping that, he does the best he can, right? If my fantasy wide receivers, Tyreek Hill. I hope that he goes off. So it's just kind of one of those deals. I don't really have a favorite team anymore. I used to, but not anymore.
You're like, oh geez, so you're just like Blaine Perkins, who just roots for just roots for the guys on his fantasy team.
Exactly, that's how it should be.
But yeah, I mean, we'll get into that later. Favorite all-time TV Hulu Netflix show?
I don't really know. I don't have. I'm not big on TV. I just kind of watch, racing and stuff. But I know that when I was like, probably a year ago, when I was out in California, I got really into, like shows that were about the beach, like Outer Banks or something like that.
Jeez.
But I never really fell in love with the show. I just kind of, watched it to kill time. But I don't have time for that anymore, So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Drive to Survive was obviously really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have.
I haven't watched the new season yet, so I don't know.
By the way, if you want to watch all the ARCA Menard series East and West races, get Track Pass. Sorry, just had to get that in there. So what is your all-time? I know you're like into like surfing. Are you like into like other like extreme sports or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, just big wave surfing. Like, growing up, like my favorite surfer was probably like guys like Andy Irons or Laird Hamilton, guys like that. I never really got too big into Kelly Slater because like Slater and Andy Irons were like rivals like growing up. So, or like when they were in their prime in their career. So you can only really vote for or go for one or the other. So, I don't know. As far as other extreme sports goes, not really. Just kind of, basketball, football, and surfing is the only thing I really focused on except racing.
So, do you have like what is your all-time like favorite meal that you've had?
Favorite meal?
Yeah, man.
Meal. So I was in Cabo one year, and I like steak. I like seafood.
Yeah.
And me and my family were in Cabo at this restaurant called Neptune, and it was just I had a surf and turf, and it was this lobster tail with this fillet, and then they had like this potato, but it was like thinly sliced, and then like I don't know if it was like fried or if it was like baked or something, but it was like crispy, but it was like layered, and that was like incredible. And then it had this like vegetable side that was like I don't know what it was, but it tasted like crack, so I loved it. And I don't know, it was good. That was probably my favorite meal of all time, and it was obviously pretty because it was in Cabo and next to the ocean, so probably that.
Okay. Are you good at? Would you prefer driving or flying?
Driving or flying, like commercial?
Come on. Well, obviously not. Well, if you can't fly.
Well, if I'm going to Florida, right? If I could drive or fly, I wouldn't want to be the passenger, but I don't know. I'd probably just fly. Like flying's so much easier. When we fly to Pensacola, like with Venerini, and like you just land and then your bags are there and your rental car's already there. Like that's the easiest way to do it. So I like flying places, and you kind of get places quicker, obviously. So that makes my life easier. I like being home. So like the checkered flag drops, do a burnout, do a celebration, and then get in the car and drive and get home. So that's kind of how I.
No, here's the thing. That is basically every driver.
Yeah.
Well, some stays because my flight leaves tomorrow morning or something.
Yeah.
But as people enter and exit the Toyota facility. Always.
Yeah. Important people too, so you got to make sure you wave to them.
Okay. Who's important there?
Everybody. You got Jack Irving just walked by. Tyler walked by earlier. There's everybody flowing through here. Bubba Wallace walked through, and then Santino Ferrucci walked through. So
Santino Ferrucci. Oh, jeez. No,
he's a character. I probably should have said him.
Oh, he is a character.
I boxed with him today. Me and him were boxing around in the ring earlier. So.
Oh, jeez. Have they ever talked about eating flavored blasted goldfish with PB&J with flavored blasted goldfish in the middle?
Does not sound good, no.
No, because he eats that, and apparently it's very good. Apparently, I don't know. I've
I
never
would
had.
not try said that.
Well, yeah, it's and then there's this thing where Krispy Kreme donuts, they put like Oreos on them.
Oh,
Um,
that looks. I would do that.
no, that's disgusting.
No, that's not.
Oh, jeez. And then there's this. I heard this thing at there's this thing at Snowball Derby where you have like they stack like these donuts, and then they put like a hamburger in the middle of it.
That
That
would
I
be kind of.
think is one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard. And they have it at like Snow. Someone was telling me they have it. At, I think it was like Colin Garrett, but he told me like they have it at like the Snowball Derby or something.
That'd be good. I don't know. I've never been to the Derby, so I'm going there this year. So that'll be fun.
Is that
When
out
that
there?
Friday. No, I've never been there.
Are you going to the Snowball Derby or are you racing in the Snowball Derby?
I'm racing Snowball Derby this year.
Oh,
Winning Snowball Derby this year. I should have rephrased that.
oh shit. Look, okay. That out there? Oh, that's interesting. So you're going to be competing in the Snowball Derby?
Yeah, but I think everybody knew that already, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if everybody knew that, but I mean, you don't know the thing. I don't know. You don't know the things I hear. But let's see. One more thing. What's something people do not know about you?
I feel like every time I get asked this question, I don't.
You got to come up with like something different because you're an interesting kid.
Well, it used to just be like, okay, I surf, and then people would be like, oh,
Everybody
okay.
knows that.
Yeah. I don't know. I like to box. Like I kind of just got back into that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I feel like that's kind of the normal thing to do.
No, I mean, there's people that just don't want to do that.
I like cooking. I'm big into cooking.
Yeah. So, are you big into that? What can you do? I mean, obviously,
well, my mom's an incredible chef. Her dad made a cookbook and all this stuff, and she's a phenomenal chef and does great at what she does. And so I kind of learned from her and learned a lot from her. So, I mean, I enjoy cooking for myself. And I feel like, when you cook for yourself, it just, it's better like that and you feel better. And I like it. So I do that every now and then. And it's a good time.
Okay. All right, Jesse, thanks for letting us get to know you and good luck whenever you're on the racetrack. And we'll see you maybe, I think the next ARCA race you're doing is Toledo? Dover, that's right. Duh.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks, Jesse.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys. See ya.